Okay, so I'm going to start with the long-form decoded the Statue of Liberty conspiracy. The short synopsis for this film is they are trying to get to the bottom of whether the Statue of Liberty symbol meant something other than liberty and freedom. The protagonist of this story is the presenter and his team. The antagonist of this story would have to be the Illuminati. The obstacles presented for this would have to be how the Illuminati is actually a secret organization, and that the fact that they use symbols for everything, and trying to decipher whether those symbols actually mean anything here in regards to the Statue of Liberty. The storyteller attempts to keep the audience engaged in this film through not giving away enough information and through talking to different researchers that don't present valid cases or cases that could be interpreted in different ways and doesn't have a lot of basis in fact. The storyteller's goal, I guess, would be to prove whether the Illuminati had anything to do with the Statue of Liberty and whether the Statue of Liberty meant anything symbolically other than freedom and liberty. I don't think that they proved anything. They didn't have enough evidence. Next, I'll discuss the long form, the real Da Vinci Code. I guess the synopsis of this story is to determine whether the Holy Grail exists and what the Holy Grail actually is. The protagonist in this story would have to be the person actually doing all the research and presenting the story. The antagonist, I think, in this case is the lack of information. The storyteller manipulated the audience in this particular story by giving them very short snippets of information, not enough to go on, and not enough to conclude a real yes or no answer on whether the Holy Grail is real or not. I think the writer did actually reach his goal at the very end of this film when he interviewed the writer of the Da Vinci Code. When he asked the question to the writer, do you have any evidence? And the writer looked him dead in the eyes and said, there's no evidence, but I think that this is a sound hypothesis. That right there says that this is all a falsehood, and there is no evidence to support any of it. Next, I'm going to discuss Top Gear's Killing a Toyota, 3-part miniseries. The short synopsis for this would be they're trying to kill a Toyota that was claimed by the company to be unkillable. The protagonist of the story is definitely the producers of the show and the host, and the antagonist of this is the Toyota. The obstacles along the way for them is the fact that this Toyota just doesn't seem to want to die, even though they throw it through obstacle after obstacle after obstacle. The storytellers manipulated the audience by giving them a series of trials to try to kill this Toyota, but it just didn't want to die. So there was that mystery of, can they do it? I think in the end, the storyteller definitely did reach their goal by showing that this Toyota just wouldn't die. After putting it through the ocean and ramming it into trees and walls and setting it on fire and finally putting it on top of a building that they blew up, it still ran. And they really didn't replace any parts other than a windshield. Next, we're going to discuss the 3 commercials, short-form stories. The commercials were about a purple mattress, about the poo-pourri, and about the poo stool. The protagonist, I guess, in this would definitely be the people trying to sell you the product, and the antagonist would be the audience in this particular case. The obstacles that the protagonist would have to go through is, does the audience really want to buy or not? So, did they reach their goal? In this particular case, I think it really depends on who the audience member is. In my particular viewing standpoint, they didn't reach the goal. I'm not intrigued to buy any of these, and the comedy was crude and not funny.